Going on, Arizona sports fan family, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Today what I want to talk about is week 9 preview. Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. Another division matchup for the Arizona Cardinals. Can we get things right? Let's dive right into it, everybody. Roll that intro. Alright everybody, welcome back in. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, today what I want to specifically talk about is Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. Now, before we get started, definitely do me one huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We're throwing out videos daily on this channel, so definitely subscribe and join the community. It's absolutely for free. If you do want to go that extra mile, we do have channel memberships available that you could basically pay for a monthly subscription if you want to support the channel and go that extra mile. If not, no worries, just smack the like button, it's free. Alright everybody, let's dive right into it here. Let's talk about week 9 matchup, Arizona Cardinals versus the Seattle Seahawks. We are entering week 9 of the 2022 season. As of right now, the Arizona Cardinals are sitting at 3-5 in the season, and the Seattle Seahawks are opposite. They're sitting at 5-3. Now, as of right now, the Arizona Cardinals have not put ourselves in a very good spot. We had 2 division games, and we've lost both those division games, so we're kind of finding ourselves in the hole. But after this game, we got back-to-back division games. So including this game, the Seattle Seahawks game, we got 3 back-to-back division games, which is going to be absolutely crucial for the Arizona Cardinals, right? We got the Seattle Seahawks, the following week we have the Rams, and then we got the 49ers for the first time in the 2022 season. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this shakes out here for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, coming into this season, I'm going to keep saying this. I know I was completely wrong. I want to just make sure that I'm eating crow. I thought the Seattle Seahawks were going to be a dumpster fire of an organization, right? They lost their quarterback, and I was completely wrong. That Seattle Seahawks team and Pete Carroll and what they're doing there, kudos to what they're doing, right? It's absolutely wild to see Geno Smith kind of, getting his kind of career back. Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, and then they got that new young running back that's been doing very well for them. So definitely kudos to that team. Let's dive right into this, right? The Arizona Cardinals are finding themselves in the 4th place in the NFC West, and they have no reason or they shouldn't want to lose this game. Let's just put it that way, right? The Arizona Cardinals are sitting 3-5. We have not done ourselves any favors at all in this season. It's just, we have been a team that's been very, very disappointing so far. Let's just put it that way, right? Now, we have been pretty competitive in some games, but then there has been the Kansas City game that we just absolutely got annihilated, which was on week 1. Now, I still don't know what this identity of this Cardinal team is, right? Now, once we brought DeAndre Hopkins back, or once he came back after, the suspension, our offense seemed to kind of click more. But I always hate the idea of the Arizona Cardinals being so dependent on one person, and that is DeAndre Hopkins. Now I come to find out that DeAndre Hopkins is our offense. If he's not on the field, then we struggle mightily, right? Now, I do believe that obviously the big difference from last game that we ended up losing against the Seattle Seahawks when we went to Lumen Field in this game is that we have DeAndre Hopkins. Our offense will thrive a lot better with Hopkins than without him. So I think this game's going to be a little different. Last game that we ended up having, we had essentially a low scoring game. I think this game's going to be a little different. I think we're both going to get into the 20s. I believe we are going to both get our numbers as well. I think this is going to be more of a high scoring game, or at least kind of a mid to scoring game, as opposed to what happened before. I think this game's going to turn out here 27-24, something along those lines, or maybe even a 31-28, that type of game. Now, when you're taking a look at the Seattle Seahawks, they still got their weapons, right? They got DK Metcalf that's having a pretty good season, have over 473 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyler Lockett is playing out of his mind again, over 500 yards, 3 touchdowns, and like I mentioned a little earlier, Kenneth Walker, which is their new young running back, over 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, definitely doing some magic over there with the Seattle Seahawks. And it would be foolish to not bring up Geno Smith, right? Geno Smith, like I mentioned a little earlier in the stream, has kind of resurrected his career, and this guy is playing out of his mind right now. 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and over 1,900 yards throwing the ball in the air. He's got some good weapons, right? I mean, I know that we have, DK Metcalf to worry about as well as Tyler Lockett, but, they got a kind of a swing rotation going on with their tight ends, so they seem to be very, very good offensively. Now, defensively is going to be where they struggle more than anything. Now, this is kind of the thought that I had coming into, last game, right? Where we're going to be able to put so many points on this defense, and it was the complete polar opposite, right? The Arizona Cardinals weren't able to do anything offensively, but I do believe that because DeAndre Hopkins is going to be coming back and he's going to be playing week 9 as opposed to the last game, we're going to see a different offense coming through, right? We're going to see DeAndre Hopkins getting his own. Hopefully, we're going to be seeing a good amount of Robbie Anderson, because I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of seeing AJ Green on the field. I want him to get out-snapped by Robbie Anderson, and I'm hoping, right? This is going to be 2 or 3 games in now, and hoping he's getting a bigger role. Now, we have Rondale Moore that's starting to kind of hit his stride. We got Greg Dortch, most likely more in special teams than we see him offensively. And I'm only hoping James Conner is going to be able to come back, because I think we were all excited about Eno Benjamin, right? We were all excited about all the other running backs that we had, but the Arizona Cardinals fall victim to what a lot of, offensive gurus kind of fall victim to, is when the moment that they fall behind, they kind of lose all sense of running the ball. And I think that kind of happens to the Arizona Cardinals too. We're finding ourselves always playing from behind, and it doesn't change, every game it's been like that, right? The Arizona Cardinals need to score a touchdown in the first quarter, and if it happens, it's going to be the first time we do it in the 2022 season, which is absolutely wild, but that's what the Arizona Cardinals need to do. We need to start off hot. We need to make sure Kyler Murray is running the ball with his legs. We need to make sure that our run game becomes a bigger focal point than we have it as right now. Right now, our offensive identity is throw that darn ball to DeAndre Hopkins. Wherever he is, throw the ball in his vicinity. Like, that's our identity, at least at this very moment. So we need to make sure that the other parts on our offense, right? Like our Zach Ertz, I'm hoping Robbie Anderson, Kyler Murray using his legs, as well as our running game can get effective and not just being solely on DeAndre Hopkins. So this game's going to be interesting, right? I did mention a little earlier that I believe this is going to be like a 31-28 game, or maybe even a 27-24 game. I do believe I'm going to be riding with my Arizona Cardinals on this one. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to squeak off the win, and hoping that they're going to knock down this very positive, fan base that's hitting their stride right now. These Seattle Seahawks fans really think that this is a Super Bowl contending team, and I want the Arizona Cardinals to really kind of come down and knock them off their high horse. Now, a couple things that are not coming in our favor for Arizona Cardinals. We suck at playing at home, right? We're absolutely terrible. We finally got our first win in a long time. We were riding like an 8-game losing streak at home, and we finally got our win this time around, so that sucks. Now, another thing that a lot of people might not know is that the Seattle Seahawks, whenever they come over to State Farm Stadium, usually have our number. When we go over to Lumen Field or CenturyLink, what it was called before, we usually beat them there, they beat us here. It's kind of a back and forth usually, but I'm going to have to ride with my Cardinals here, because like I said a little earlier, ladies and gentlemen, if the Arizona Cardinals do lose this game, in fact, man, we're going to be finding ourselves at 0-3 in the division, and that's a place you do not want to find yourself. This is an absolute must-win for the Arizona Cardinals. Everything needs to get taken out, right? Check your egos out the door. Everybody needs to play inspirational football. Complimentary football is what we need to see from our Arizona Cardinals. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this game. Put everything in the comments below, everybody. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and go Cards.